Are you looking to build your DIY workshop business? Welcome to the Workshop Podcast, a place to inspire, gather, and connect with other creatives. To help grow your impact and your creative business, I'm your host and business coach, Jacqueline Diaz. Welcome to episode 6 of the Workshop Podcast with Rachel Freemon Sowers, psychotherapist turned business strategist. Now, this episode is unique for us. It's not specifically about the business of DIY, but it is about how we approach the life we want to live. And now I met Rachel at a conference that we were at, and we really just had some awesome conversation just about business in general. So Rachel works closely with women to identify common threads that hold you back from experiencing unmistakable success. She's created a set of core tools to help women carve their own unique path to success with ease, laser clarity, and fierce confidence. In this episode, we chat about how to move forward with your creative passions and honor the value that you bring to this world. We chat about how you're showing up for you first, being intentional about how you want to feel, and the actions required to live the life that you want to live. Now, it's not so much about figuring things out. It's about choosing who to be and do what you need to do to be that person. I really think the best conversation happened after the interview was over. And I want you to hear what Rachel has to say after our interview ends. So please stay to the end. I recorded our post-interview conversation, and she had huge insight into how we can be in alignment with our purpose. How do you shut out the noise, buckle down, and figure out what you want? How to stay focused. And she talks about her influence by Danielle Laporte. So listen to the end and hear what she has to say. Rachel.
Hello.
I am super excited to have this time with you. So I just want to thank you in advance for taking time out of your day. For all of you listeners out there, I would love for you to meet Rachel Freemon. Do you want to just introduce yourself?
Well, thank you so much for having me here, Jacqueline. I love when we can chat and spend time together, so that's awesome. My name is Rachel Freemon Sowers, and I am a business strategist or psychotherapist turned business strategist. And what I do is I help people create side hustles, businesses, and professional lives that thrive by taking action.
Oh my goodness, action. That's kind of what it's all about. So that's funny that that's your kind of focus, because where we met was at a conference. So I guess, was that like part of your action plan on?
So yes, I mean, what I love is community. Community is really important to me. And I was looking for more community. And that's when we met at BBD Live, James Wedmore's event. And it was awesome. And I went there so that I could feel more support. It's really important to me. I think it's important to everyone trying to create success in their life.
You couldn't agree more, because if you don't have a team behind you and that support network, it's kind of hard to do it alone. And that's the last thing that we want for business and in life, right?
Right. And it just seemed like when you and I met, like we met each other earlier on, and then in the last part of our stay there, kind of like, oh, we went to the beach together and we just kind of like played around, and it was super fun. So I was like, I think this is a person I'm going to stay in contact with.
Totally. And it's been like super fun too. And learning doesn't have to be daunting or feel like a task. And with my background as a recreation therapist, one of my goals is to include more play. So when you can work and play at the same time, that is win-win for me. So now you've had years of experience as a psychotherapist, but then you're transitioning your business right now to help women drive them to success. Am I explaining that right?
Yeah, so I've worked as a psychotherapist in the state of California for over 15 years now. Holy cow, it's a long time. Woo! Man, anyway, okay, moving on. So all of the things that I learned in helping individuals on deal with mental and emotional blocks and things that are really stopping them, I decided I'd transition. I opened my own business, and through all of the lessons I've learned, which I'm sure you've learned some lessons also as we start up these businesses, I decided that I could combine those two together. And so that is really what I have a passion for doing now. Is it's not just either dealing with this one business part, but we get to deal with all of it at the same time.
Awesome. And so me being in the DIY industry, a lot of do-it-yourself, creative women who are passionate about what they do, but often don't give themselves the value that they should, and don't maybe hold their creative businesses really as a profit center for them. Like, these creative individuals can use their skills to create a business, right? So how can they follow their passion and have the confidence to move forward with their skills as a business?
I think one of the most important things, or the things that I've found in working with women in particular solely for the last few years of my practice, is really honoring the value that we bring. We get caught up sometimes as women, and I'm just going to make an assumption, so hopefully that's okay, that we're doing all of these things, but oftentimes the doing of the things is focused on other people. And we do things for our children, and we love our families, and we do all that. But then just naturally, sometimes we put ourselves aside and not honoring what really we bring to the table, not just in helping others, but in living our own lives. So when we start honoring ourselves and saying this brings value, not just value to other people, right? Not just doing things for other people, but the value comes in my existence in this world. Like, we are all here for a purpose and a reason. And part of that purpose is to help us live fulfilling lives. So when we don't value the things that we can bring, or we think sometimes that the things that we're bringing aren't really that big of a deal, but each one of us have those gifts, and our gifts are a big deal, and they can make big impacts if we just allow them to.
Oh my goodness. I love that. Okay. So how do we listen to that? Like, how do we listen and take action on what we're driven to do, or what leads us?
So I think you bring up a very good point of what we're driven to do. And what, in my work, it's really helping women in who they want to be. Right? So none of the women I have ever worked with have a problem doing anything. They're accomplished, they're ambitious, they're driven. We do lots of things, but we forget who we want to be in this world. Right? So how do I want to show up? How do I want to interact? So the first thing that's really important is to determine who you desire to be, or who you desire to become. And then when you have shifts in life, it's easier, it's more ease, because you know how you want to show up every single moment of every single day. And it relieves so much doubt and so much lack of confidence. You just grow in confidence when you know, this is how I want to be showing up all the time, for myself first, and then other people. Does that answer the question?
Oh my God, that's amazing. And so sometimes I can speak for myself when I am feeling out of alignment, and things aren't feeling like they're jiving really well. I guess that's the question that I should be asking myself is this who I want to be? Because that is really easy to make that decision on either saying yes or no to something, if it's not in alignment, or if it feels really good and in alignment. So I'm going to be asking myself that question a lot. Thank you.
The other thing too is what I've done for the last several years is I just determine how I want to feel every day. So the four ways that I want to feel are abundant, authentic, masterful, and free. And when I have those, it's very simple to make a decision. Everything I do has to at least generate one of those feelings. And if it doesn't generate at least one of those feelings, the answer is no. So then I stay in alignment, because you're talking about staying in alignment. Because sometimes our guts and our feelings can that aren't intentional have us stray from really how we want to show up,
Right,
because of fear and scarcity.
so what are some tools that we can use to stay focused?
So to stay, that's like a loaded question. Can I just because my head now is just starting to swim. And okay, so to stay focused, we need to focus on ourselves. When we start focusing on all external factors, like what do my kids need, what does this need, what does my partner need, what does my work need, what does my house need, all of those things, we forget, right? It's always returning back to ourselves, and it's not in an egocentric way. But to stay focused is, how can I generate the feelings authenticity, abundance, being masterful and free? That is the focus. And everything else goes to the wayside, because when I'm in those four ways of being, I have more for others.
Right. And so things like feeling overwhelmed with having to be in so many places at the same time, playing so many different roles, the house needs to get clean, the dishes need to be done, all those task-oriented things. So you're suggesting that we just really put our emotions in check and prioritize how it is we want to feel. And are those things really a priority?
Right. So get intentional. And intention means that we need to create an awareness. So what I would caution is if you're not able, or if you do something that doesn't cause you to feel the way you want to feel, which I have done, don't let that negative voice in your head go. So you didn't do it, right? So what we're going to say is, yes, I see that wasn't the result I wanted. I don't need to know why necessarily all the time. I just need to know what I want now, and then move forward with that. That's that action focus. I'm moving forward now. I'm not going to, I've done that. So if I need to learn something, I'll learn it. And then I'm moving forward from here.
Right. And not staying in that place of guilt or frustration or lack of.
Yeah, not enough, because even at 46 years old, there are still times I feel like I'm not enough. That's not gonna always go away, but it's how I can move through it faster.
Well, it's about growth too, isn't it? Like personal growth is never fully accomplished, because there's always more people we can impact. There's always more good we can do and more giving, right?
Well, right. And I don't know if, I think my life would be boring. I love the action taking, and I love the challenge, and all of those things. Like, that makes more room for experiences, right?
Oh my gosh.
Experience things.
Yeah. And oh my goodness, that experiences is like my thing about my workshops too, is like, I want my customers to have that amazing experience, because those amazing experiences evoke amazing feelings. And when you can remember those things, it does give you energy and it fuels you. And so us creative people sometimes really hold back that emotion and that feeling, because as creative people, as kind of emotion goes with it, right? So I think sometimes that's what holds us back too, is that we don't want to put ourselves out there, or we don't want to get into other people's way. Like, oh, somebody else is doing that, I'll just let them do that. Or so I guess to our listeners, my other question would be, we all want to offer an amazing experience to our customers. So how do we shut out the noise of competition? Or how do we ignore that? Or how do we drive our businesses without focusing on the competition or, other people out there?
So again, and I don't want to feel like a broken record here, but this is what I teach people to do. So when I look externally, when I am focused on if someone is my competition, I lose sight of myself. The simple question is this helpful? Is me looking at all these other, like even in my business, and a long time ago, I was absolutely guilty of this. So I'm just going to fess up, right? So like I would look at other people's websites, or I would look at how they said things, or I would look at all this, and then I'd be like, well, I need that, and I need this, and I need that. But my business didn't grow and I wasn't able to have what I wanted to have because I was not doing what I needed to show up and do. I wasn't giving me. And so when there is competition, we can be fearful of that, right? Oh my gosh, they have more followers, or they have this, or this other person's doing this workshop. Like, oh, someone else is doing this thing where I don't know, paint pictures or wood or make signs. Oh, well, maybe they're better. Is this helpful? Is this thought helpful? Is this action helpful? No, it is not. Stop. That's it. Like, don't make it too complicated. Don't go down the why train. Like, why am I doing? You're doing it because you're feeling insecure. That's it. So stop doing that and do the things that make you feel secure. Look, so again, this is what do we focus on? What we think about, we bring about. And so put the blinders on, pay attention to you. When you pay attention to what you're bringing, how you bring that, you will attract more people to you.
Yeah. So focusing on being, not doing, I'm hearing that message loud and clear.
Whoops.
Which I love, because it's like simplifying it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're just simplifying. So if we can just redirect ourselves to like, okay, so that's not serving me well, focusing on the competition. That's not serving me well, not focusing on the things that make me feel good. Listening to who you're being.
Like that wise one within you that says, this isn't in alignment. This doesn't mesh with how I want to be or living. I mean, there's people, we met people with 7-figure businesses. Some people have 8-figure. Like, I don't know if I ever want that, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's like, what do I want?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because I think that was a big eye opener for me, is it doesn't matter at what level you are at in your business, whether you're first starting out or whether you've got 20 years experience worldwide dealing with high-end achievers making 8 figures plus. Those same feelings can get in our way.
Yep. And so once you learn to master it in one area, what people don't realize is that then you can take it in any area because you have learned it, and you are you. I'm not different when I show up for you here on this podcast than I am when I show up for my peeps on video on Facebook, or when I show up in my membership group. I mean, like, I'm no different. I'm the same. So once I've overcome it in another area, you can take that and transfer it over. You don't have to relearn something. You've already learned it.
Mm-hmm.
But we forget. We forget that, oh my gosh, I know things. I know some shiz here. Right? So for all of you,
never undermine what you know, because what's easy
Right.
to you, it could be difficult to somebody else.
Right. So for your people who say like, oh, what do I have to offer? What value is this bringing? Because you know stuff. Like, honor that part. Like, I've lived, I don't know, people say I'm still young, but I feel like I've lived a lot of life already at 46, and I know some things that have helped me. And if I share those and it helps one person, just one person, that will make it all worth it.
Super cool. Super, super cool. I love chatting with you, Rachel.
Oh, thanks. I love chatting with you too. I would just encourage your people to do is that we are smart. I mean, we are smart. I'm sure that your clients are smart. My clients are smart. I already know it. Remember, it's not so much about figuring stuff out, because sometimes we can get caught in that. And then even as creatives, we're like, ooh, this idea, ooh, that idea, ooh, this, we need to pick one, I would say one or two ideas, because I don't know if this happened to you, but I was like, ooh, look over there, ooh, look over there. And my business hadn't grown any, right? So whatever you decide to be that, and take the actions needed to be that. Figure out what your environment needs to look like. Figure out the resources that you actually need, because sometimes we get things that we don't really need because it's distracting, and develop the relationships with people who can support you in that. Like, those would be the top 3 things I would tell people to do to create their own success and have a kick-ass life all at the same time.
Amazing. Do you want to embellish on those at all? I mean, just even writing it down, right? Keeping it front and center.
Yep. So, I mean, like, I'm a very visual person. If you saw my office right now, it would overwhelm some people, but I need to keep things in front of me. Like, why am I creating this? Why am I wanting a movement? What are the things that inspire me? So I have a vision board that's up in my office that has room for more, right? There's things that show me, and this is simple, maybe this is really practical, things that I'm going to talk about on social media, things that show other people who I am and how I want to be and show up for other people, right? So those are some of the things that maybe people can do. And the other thing is you need to take action. Nothing will happen without the right action.
So definitely, even if it's baby steps, right?
Yep. Even if the first step is always creating awareness. So, oh, I didn't like that very much. Okay, now I know. Okay, I'm going to just put that into the notebook for later on. Oh, well, then you go and maybe you're going to make, or think you're going to make, a similar decision again. Oh, wait, that didn't make me it wasn't helpful. That way of being or thinking wasn't helpful. So I'm choosing something different this time, right? Just having the awareness is absolutely the first step in anything.
Love it. So you're talking about surrounding yourself front and center with the things that you love and inspire you and keep you focused. I see behind you, and if everyone else could see, there is a big ass moon behind you.
So this is so interesting that people love that painting. So some people say it's moon. Some people, for me, sometimes it's mountains, because we're surrounded by mountains. I'm in Redding, California. Mountains everywhere. Water is also a huge thing for me. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but I absolutely love like doing full moon clearings and stuff, just to clear out the things that are no longer serving me. So I do those sort of things. We do new moon awakenings, because new moons are for manifesting. And it's all about bringing an intention, that awareness. Because when you have those things and you're surrounded by people that love doing that too, you normally just move forward in life.
Oh my goodness. So if my listeners wanted to follow and learn more about you, where could they find you?
So they can find me on Facebook at Rachel Freemon Sowers. everything is Rachel Freemon Sowers. So it's going to be super easy. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's at Rachel Freemon Sowers. And also my website, rachelfreemonsowers.com. I have a all women's Facebook group. It's totally free. It's for women who want to inspire and be inspired without judgment. It's called This Authentic Fempreneur Life. You can feel free to click on over there. Make sure to let me know as you answer the questions that you heard it on Jacqueline's podcast, because, Jacqueline's going to be hanging out for a little while in my little area. So, so just make sure you mention her, because I think it would be awesome to have whoever wants to join us there.
Super cool. Thank you again, Rachel, for taking time to chat with us today. And to all of the listeners out there, if you got anything out of this podcast today, post it in the comments below. Rachel, we will see you in your Facebook group for sure. We'll chat soon.
Yes. All right. Thanks so much. Bye.
Take care. Bye. This is going to be so much fun. So if you haven't yet subscribed to this podcast, I don't want you to miss an episode. Be sure to follow me on Facebook at Jacqueline DIY. And for more free content, video, and solid advice to build your creative workshop business and be inspired, please visit jacquelinediy.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time. And if you're in the business of DIY, feel free to subscribe, leave a review, and tell a friend.
When we take that neurological pattern way of being and we start snipping some of those connections by changing behaviors and creating awareness, then we say the life I've always wanted to live is the life I get to live. I mean, and that's been the number one experience of all of my clients. They say to me two things. I've never heard it like that before, or never thought of that. And then I never thought I would be able to be this way. I never thought I'd actually be living the way I want to live. And so what I'm doing, what I talk about is how to stay in that alignment and how to do it independent of what others think you should or shouldn't be doing or expect you to do. It doesn't mean that you don't care. That's not it. It's not, I don't care what other people think. I don't give a crap, blah, blah, blah. It's not that. It's like, hey, wait, I have to pay attention to my life because it is my life. Like I want to live it in a certain way. And when I live it in this way, I then bless other people. I then empower other people. I then can inspire and live the purpose in which I was here to live. Do the thing I want to ultimately be doing, showing up with the highest level of contribution I can. So that's how I do it. So teaching all the people in the membership are women so far. But so I teach those women, how do you stay in alignment, and how do you know, like instantaneously you get to the point to where like, oh, yep, this is why, or this is what's happening. I can recognize that and I just need to adjust it. So then we don't stay so long in why can't I? What's happening? Well, you know exactly what's happening. You've lived that way your whole entire life.
Right. So when people start making excuses for where they're at in their life, or they start putting blame on other people, or they start, like, at what point how do you get people to self-reflect, to say, okay, I am where I'm at because of me?
I ask them if they're tired of living their life. Are you done yet? I mean, like that's the habitual part. Like I can show you, but the blame, the excuses, and that constant state of contemplation. You don't have to know why. You just have to know what you want to do. What do you want instead? And then you do that. So teaching people, it's kind of like the Danielle Laporte stuff that, I hooked onto that like almost like 10 years ago. But really living it and saying the things I want to be now are courageous, abundant, masterful, and free. That's what I want to feel every single day. If I'm doing something that doesn't allow me to feel, if I'm wondering if I should do something, I have to ask if it allows me to feel at least one of those 4 ways. If it doesn't, then I don't do it. You have to overcome the fear of missing out. You have to overcome the thing and believe that everything will be happening at just the right timing, at just the right moment.
Right. And so for you, you said creativity is one of your words?
No, courageous, abundant, masterful, and free.
Great. And so how did you come up with those words?
So I came up, it used to be authentic, abundant, masterful, and free. But now the authentic thing is just, it really is, it's what I choose. Yeah, I don't work on that so much anymore. I just do it. So the courageous is because I want to be growing my business, because I want to live a certain life. That means I'm going to need to do things that I may be afraid to do, or may cause me some anxiety, or may have me go back to the old patterned way of thinking that's not helpful according to how I want to live now. The abundance is both in prosperity, which for me is money, and it's also in non-money stuff. So I want to feel like I have enough every day. And I want to affirm that I am enough. I have enough knowledge. I don't need to buy another course. I don't need to go and do this other thing. No, I know. Now I need to take action.
Mm-hmm.
The masterful is I'm a constant learner. I just learn all the time. So how does that fit in? If I'm going to learn something new, but I want to be masterful at it. I just don't want to be here. I can do all of these things because I can do a lot of things. I can help a lot of different people. I've done it my whole entire career. Depressed? Sure, I'll see you. Anxious? Sure, I'll see you. Oh, psychotic? Well, not so much, but I can do it, right? It's not so much about what can I do, it's what I want to do. What do I want to master? And then free is, I don't want anyone telling me what to do. No, I want to go and travel, and I want to make decisions that support the way I want to be living, the way I want to be feeling, the way I want to show up for myself first, and then for other people. I had one of the women say, like, how do you just buckle down? I said, I stopped getting input. Like, I don't input anymore. I have 5 people that I follow now. And it's been intentional on those 5 people. I interact and even 5 is too many. I should really do 3. But so I put my blinders on, because if I'm continuously looking at what other people are doing, I'm not looking at what I'm doing. And then I just go back to the old neurological patterned way of being that says blah, 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 blah. So the fact of the matter is that our brains make it more complicated because we love staying over here.
Right.
But it's not that complicated. What do you want? Do I want to be working for someone else? No. What do I want more? This. What will I do? I will put myself on Facebook Live. So how do you stay focused? Part of that is shutting out the noise. Part of that is listening to your own inner wisdom. Get back in touch with that. People say your why. That's fine. I do this because it causes me to have a feeling that I want.
Mm-hmm.
When you see someone's face light up that you help, that'll take you a lot farther.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's about the connection with yourself first and then with other people. If you don't know yourself, you can't connect with anybody else.